Hello and welcome to a new game of mine that I just invented. Guess the plane! Oh Napalm, we already know it's the XF5F, you put it in the video title. God damn it, why can't you read? Okay, let's try that once more. Hello and welcome aboard the XF5F, which is a reward vehicle, or plane, and which seems to be rather rare these days. Now, as far as I know, there was at least one, maybe two events where you could get this plane. And the event where I got it is a long time ago. It was in patch 1.43, something like that. And there is not a lot of gameplay out there on YouTube which shows this plane. Now, at the moment you can see the cockpit, and it looks like some racer pod from Star Wars. And there's a little bit to talk about this plane. Sadly, not everything that I have to tell you about this plane is good. In fact, this plane is kind of underwhelming. And, you know, the second name for this plane is the Sky Rocket. Not the Sky Raider, which is a fantastic aircraft and probably a better fighter than this. And no, I'm not exaggerating here. This plane has a lot of disadvantages that might not be that obvious on the first look of it. In fact, the plane itself has its moments where it really shines, where it really, you know, seems to be good. On the other hand, some of the drawbacks are so mind-bogglingly unnecessary that, you know, if you're jealous to not have this in your hangar, I can tell you right now, you probably are better off with any other plane at this battle rating. Probably. But I guess this is the point where we should talk about the plane a bit more in depth, and I provide you with a few informations that you might not have access to. Now, the XF5F Sky Rocket is a rank 3 plane with a battle rating of 3.3. It is equipped with two 12.7 MG Brownings with 400 rounds and two 7.62 Browning machine guns with 1000 rounds. They are all mounted in the nose, and as a premium vehicle, it sits at the bottom of the premium planes in the American tech tree. So, what is good, what is bad about it? Now, first of all, the second name, Skyrocket. Oh, it must climb like crazy. And as a rocket, it also features high altitude performance. The climb rate is not that good, to be honest. And as you just could see, the firepower is also not overwhelmingly good. Now, I'm a fan of 50 cals, to be honest, when they work. When they don't work, they're one of the most frustrating things ever. Because while it is true that 50 cals, or, you know, heavy machine guns are used in all nations' planes, the American planes, the American planes are basically the only that rely on it as their primary armament. Now, there are some planes of other nations, especially at lower tier, that also rely sometimes on, you know, purely heavy machine guns or machine guns in general. But this plane, it doesn't have enough ammunition for not enough guns. And while it is nice to have the guns nose mounted, sorry about that, it just doesn't cut it. And the problem with this is that I guess this plane should be designed as some sort of boom and zoom aircraft. Now, I want, you know, adequate firepower on a plane that is designed for boom and zoom. Cannons are the thing in War Thunder, especially 20 millimeters. They are used as well in every nation, probably even more. And there you can see the problem. I just can't do it. This plane's next disadvantage as a plane that is probably designed as a boom and zoomer is that it suffers from a massive lockup. Okay, it suffers from a massive lockup from 600 kilometers onwards, especially at 700 kilometers. You need nearly 1.5 kilometers to, you know, pull up out of a dive. I did not test out how fast this plane can get in a dive. Probably 800. You know, you can't trust the stat card in that respect. Depending if you use IIS or, you know, the true airspeed. Yeah, that's by the way another feature, that you have this scope, which is more than annoying than helpful. It might be some funny gadget for simulator pilots. And so to sum it up, this plane, and I haven't talked about, you know, the climb rate, which is not too bad, to be honest. To sum it up, this plane might be designed as a boom and zoom aircraft, but therefore the climb rate and also the diving, you know, capabilities are not good enough. Now the compression is another thing that is within the flight model, and here you have the next taste of, you know, the firepower. Yeah, of course it was absolutely my fault, you know, for having a stable ping and, you know, perfectly hitting all over the fuselage and wings with stealth ammunition. That's absolutely my fault, I have to agree, because normally you one-shot planes, right? Yes. To sum it up, the firepower is not good enough. The ammunition loadout is, you know, not good enough. The plane itself flies well, but at its battle rating it is just simply not good enough. You don't have the option of any rocket or bombs, so you just rely on your machine guns. Together with, you know, what you face, because at this battle rating, you know, a lot of enemies have cannons. You know, you just are not a good asset in that respect. Maybe even a bomber at the current state of War Thunder makes more sense to fly at to win the match. And that is basically the message for today. When you are in a plane that is not, you know, convincingly good, what can you do? Well, to be honest, one of the key messages for players in all types of competitive gameplay is that you should keep yourself in game. You have to be alive just to be there. And why this at the moment doesn't sound too well, another assist. Oh, I love air assist streaks. They are so good. Yeah. You know, just to be there is a great thing for your team members. You don't really profit from it, okay? Because you don't probably get the kills. But let's just say a Bf-109 is in a turn fight with a Spitfire, and you are in a Focke-Wulf. You possibly can't participate in the turn fight. Not really, right? But, you know, to pretend an attack or to, you know, be in the vicinity should make the Spitfire nervous. He can't 100% concentrate on the Bf-109, just as an example. And so you might give the Bf-109 the chance to escape or to gather some distance while you attack, and the Spitfire has to make evasive actions. And to be honest, the Skyrocket in certain parts has a sweet spot just when it comes out of the compression zone, so to speak. There is a area, you know, from 550 kilometers downwards to around about 420 kilometers an hour, true airspeed, where you can deploy your flaps and have a really good turn rate. But you don't have the energy retention to keep up the turn. But you have probably enough turn rate for this short amount of time to get out of sticky situations. Now at this point there are just 2 players alive, if I'm not mistaken, and I just spotted one by luck, by looking into the right direction. I assumed he might rearm and refuel, and indeed he is circling around this airfield. I give him the benefit of the doubt that he just landed and, you know, rearmed, refueled, and now he tries to get some altitude. I give him the benefit of the doubt. It's a common tactic these days to circle around the airfield. For the Allied teams, gladly, Norway was heavily nerfed, you know, the central airfield where the landing crafts from the Allies are going. Those days where Norway won the Axis matches, so to speak, are gone, at least for the moment. Yeah, and trust me, I've played this plane a lot before I made this video, and I had games where I actually made 3 kills, which were funny and showed how RNG the 50 cals are, at least for me. But, you know, they were more controversial than really educating, and that's one of the key features of my channel. At least I think that. People like my guides, people like my tank reviews. Planes, however, they are more on the entertaining and result-containing side of my content. I don't know if that makes sense for you, but yeah. So here I called him out, and of course AAA hits me in the turn, because I have to say it feels like AAA in this game, you know, is aimed by some kind of aimbot. I have some suspicious feeling. Don't know. Yeah, okay, I leave those jokes. But here I'm trying to keep him spotted, or, you know, deny him to escape, while, you know, trying to stay out of AAA range, and to, yeah, to meet with my allies. And then you see it in chat, I have no fire, I go in first. I take one for the team. I'm there. AAA usually just focuses on one person and not numerous persons, and usually it's the person that already is in a vicinity and already, you know, is in general closer to the airfield. I marked him, I dive for him, I try some evasive actions, but they make not too much sense. My aiming here is not the very best, but, you know, and you can see I'm flying with around about 550. Now I could deploy flaps, which I do now, and of course AAA heavily focuses me, and the inevitable happens. Pilot knocked out. Yeah, you see the slugginess of this aircraft is really a bit difficult, but that's the point. I bought my team members so much time that they should be able to go into a fight. And indeed the Ki 100 sets the Spitfire on fire but crashes, not sure why. Too steep dive, maybe damage from the AAA, whatever, but he knocked out the Spitfire, and that's it. Those are those late game situations that make it so important for you to outnumber the enemy for certain suicide tactics. Yeah, it worked out. We got the Spitfire on his airfield. He probably never came out. And so let's have a quick look at the post-battle results screens, if it paid off to win. And indeed we can see that I made a healthy profit of 70,000 silver lines and 5,774 research points. The profit on this plane is not bad for just 1 kill and 3 assists, and you can see I was third with 1,113 score points. So that's the XF5F Skyrocket for you. I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know in the comment section if you have any secret tips for this plane, if you have it, if you really want it because you're a collector, and probably you have spotted some mistakes. One final thing that I want to tell you, this plane doesn't suffer from any instructor problem. So if you have wondered what I was talking about in, you know, my biplane videos, so to speak, the instructor is not such an issue on this plane. It does have a good instructor, but the flight model performances are not that good. I don't know if they're historically accurate or not, but overall the plane in all combinations, you know, damage model, flight performance, firepower, ammunition, battle rating, and the meta of the game, just they prevent this plane from shining. That's my basic message. And also, sometimes you have to sacrifice yourself to secure the win to get more of what you already have earned. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please give this video a like if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more. And see you in the skies.